Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chap. 28, Sec 2 of Jane Eyre, an autobiography.
As.
Ah. Jane Eyre, an autobiography. Charlotte Brontë. Chap. 28, Sec 2. Worn out with this torture of thought, I rose to my knees. Night was come, and her planets were risen. A safe, still night, to strain for the companionship of fear. We know that God is everywhere, spread before us, and it is in the unclouded night sky where his roads with their silent course that we would clear rest his infinitude, his omnipotence, his omnipresence. I had risen to my knees to pray for Mr. Rochester, booking up, and with two dimmed eyes, saw the mighty Milky Way, felt the might and strength of God. Sure was I of his efficiency to save what he had made. Convinced I grew that neither us should perish, nor one of the souls it treasured. I turned my prayer to thanksgiving. The source of life was also the savior of spirits. Mr. Rochester was safe. He was God's, and by God would he be guarded. I again nestled to the breast of the hill, and ere long in sleep forgot sorrow. But next day, what came to me pale and bare, long after the little birds had left their nests, honey before the dew was dried, and the long morning shadows were curtailed, and the sun-filled earth and sky got up, and I looked round me. What a still, what perfect day! What a golden desert this spreading mar! Everywhere sunshine. I wish I could live in it and on it. I saw Elizabeth run over the crag. I saw bee busy among the sweet bulberries. I would fain at the moment have become bee or lizard. I might have found fitting a tryman, permanent shelter here. But I was a human being, and had a human being's wants. I must not linger where there was nothing to supply them. I rose. I looked back at the bed I had left, hopeless of the future, of me while I slept, and that this weary frame, absolved by death from further conflict with fate, had now but to decay quietly, and mingle in peace with the soil of this wilderness. That, however, was yet in position, with all its requirements, and pains, and responsibilities. The burden must be carried, the want provided for, the suffering endured, the responsibility fulfilled. I set out, with curse regained. I followed a road which led from the sun, now fervent and high. By no other circumstance had I able to decide my choice. I walked a long time, and when I thought I had nearly done enough, I might conscientiously yield to the fatigue that almost overpowered me, might relax this forced position. And then, sitting down on a stone I saw near, well, I turned in the direction of the sound, and there, amongst the romantic hills, whose changes in this aspect I had ceased to note an hour ago. I saw a hamlet and a spire. All the valley at my right hand was full of pasture fields, and cornfields, and wood, and a glittering stream ran zigzag through the varied shades of green. The mellow and green, the sombre woodland, the clear and sunny lea, recalled by the rumbling of wheels to the road before me. I saw a heavily laden wagon laboring up the hill, and not far beyond were two cows and their drover. Human life and human labour were near. I must struggle on, strive to live and bend to toil like the rest. About 2:00 p.m. I entered the village. Of bread in the window, I coveted a cake of bread. With that refreshment I could perhaps regain a degree of energy. Without it, it would be difficult to proceed. I was amongst my fellow beings, and yet, had I nothing about me I could offer in exchange for one of these rules. I considered. I had a small silk handkerchief tied round my throat. I had my gloves. I could hardly tell how men and women in extremities of destitution proceeded. I did not know whether either of these articles would be accepted. Probably they would not. But I must try. I entered the shop. A woman was there, seeing a respectably dressed person. A lady, as she supposed. She came forward with civility. How could she serve me? I was seized with shame. My tongue would not utter the request I had prepared. I did not offer her the half-worn gloves, the creased handkerchief. Besides, I felt it would be absurd. I only begged permission to sit down a moment, as I was tired, disappointed in the expectation of a customer. She coolly acceded to my request. She pointed to a seat. I sank into it. I felt so urged to weep, but conscious how unseasonable such manifestation would be, I restrained it. 2:03. I reflected. I was driven to the point now. I was brought face to face with necessity. I stood in the position of one without a resource, without a friend, without a coin. To be continued.